The global space industry is on the brink of unprecedented growth. Experts predict the space economy could soar to a staggering $1.8 trillion by 2035, up from $630 billion just a year ago. But with this growth comes serious challenges: sustainability, safety, and global governance. Today, we dive into the future of space policy, the role of private industry, and the challenges that lie ahead. And at the heart of it all is Jamie Morin, the analyst shaping how the world navigates these uncharted frontiers. In April 2023, the World Economic Forum and McKinsey released a groundbreaking report. The space industry could reach $1.8 trillion by 2035. How is this happening? Lower costs, smarter technologies, and private industry innovation. Leading the charge is SpaceX, but they aren't alone. Companies from around the globe are jumping into orbit. What most people don't realize is just how crucial space is to our daily lives. Take GPS, for example. Every rideshare app, delivery service, and even agricultural equipment depends on it. Yet this economic contribution often goes unmeasured in official reports. The same goes for weather forecasting. Satellites provide most of the data that predict hurricanes, climate shifts, and seasonal trends. The information is often provided for free by governments, but generates massive economic value. This hidden impact is the core story of how space technology silently drives the global economy. But with rapid expansion, the challenges are also mounting. Here's where things get complicated. The number of active satellites in orbit has exploded from just 1,000 a decade ago to over 10,000 today. Why? Launching satellites is now cheaper and easier than ever before. This growth is exciting, but it's also dangerous. Satellites in low Earth orbit travel at speeds of 7.5 kilometers per second. A tiny piece of space debris can cause catastrophic damage, and the more crowded space becomes, the higher the risk of collisions. Jamie Morin, head of the Center for Space Policy and Strategy, warns that the next 5 years are critical. If governments and companies don't act now, space could become an unmanageable, hazardous zone. Governments, private industry, and international organizations are scrambling to address these concerns. Data sharing systems, collision tracking, and global coordination are all on the table. But will it be enough? Space is no longer dominated by governments. Private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and OneWeb are now leading the charge with satellite constellations in the thousands. These companies are pioneering the technologies needed to manage massive fleets of satellites. But there's a catch. They often operate independently. Without coordination, their actions could increase collision risks instead of reducing them. Governance is the missing piece. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed during the Cold War, says that countries are responsible for regulating space activities, even private ones. But in today's world, that's not enough. The United States and the European Union are leading efforts to improve coordination. They're developing shared systems for tracking satellites and predicting collisions. But for these efforts to succeed, we need global participation. New players are entering the arena. China, India, and even smaller nations are launching their own missions. The democratization of space is exciting, but it also complicates governance. How do you get dozens of countries and private companies to agree on rules of the road in space? Beyond collisions and debris, there's another growing concern: space security. Reports suggest that Russia could be exploring ways to place nuclear weapons in orbit, a direct violation of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty. A nuclear weapon in space would pose a threat to all satellites, civilian and military. The consequences would be devastating and long-lasting, especially for the thousands of commercial satellites in low Earth orbit. Morin and other experts emphasize the need for leadership and international cooperation. Space is becoming crowded, competitive, and contested. Without clear rules and leadership, conflicts in space could spill over into global crises. The next 5 years will determine the future of space. Will governments and private companies rise to the challenge? Can we harness space technology to solve problems on Earth without creating new ones above? If we get it right, space will be the key to a brighter future for all of humanity. Like, subscribe, and share for more deep dives on the biggest issues shaping our world.